Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Stock. This video is for entertainment purposes only. Today I would like to take a look at a few stocks, a couple new ones and a couple ones that I've talked about in the past, just to give you some updates on those and also to look for some buying opportunities that we have, talk about the market as it's been the past couple of days and also what I see for it going forward. Hang around, love to have you. Let's get ready to rock. Alright, welcome back. For those of you who are interested, if you take a look down in the description, there's a link to my Patreon. If you want to see the stocks that I'm invested in my growth portfolio, in my dividend portfolio, and my weekly watch list that I put out for stocks, which is doing great this week, but it's been a strong week for the market, so I'm glad that it's performing strong as well. A lot of really good comebacks that we have there, and that is also a lesson to be learned. We'll get to that. Also in that Patreon is a link to my private Discord, and in that Discord you can come over, talk stocks with the other Discord members that are over there. I'm in and out of there all the time, interacting with the members and just talking stocks and bouncing ideas off each other to see if there's other areas that we would like to invest in. So if you guys are interested in any of that and want to check it out, that link is down in the description. Also down in the description is a link to Webull. By signing up and depositing $100, you get a chance at $1,850 in free stocks, 2 free stocks guaranteed. So you get free money just for signing up. I use the Webull platform myself, and also in my videos, that's what we're looking at, is the Webull platform. And I really do like the user interface that it has. Super interesting, super helpful, super easy to use. So again, if you're interested, down in the description, check out that link. Finally, subscribe, hit the notification bell, hit the like button, share with your friends, so that way you can have a look at all the videos as they come out to you. And I appreciate the support that everybody's been putting out so far. And, well, let's just get on to the stocks. If you've been following the stock market this week, you'll notice that it's been very green. We had just a long period of sell-offs, especially with the growth stocks. And we did have some increase in some other areas. The bank stocks, recovery stocks, they were really hanging in there. They did they did pretty well during that time. And then the tech stocks, the growth stocks, those are the ones that really suffered. And what we've been talking about on YouTube, me, other YouTubers that are out there, other professionals that are out there, even Kathy Wood is one of them, who said about dollar cost averaging down as it goes on, sticking with the higher conviction stocks, maybe shedding the weight of some of our lower conviction stocks that would allow us to have more buying power with our accounts, helping us to take advantage of the opportunities while they're down. You'll see as we get into this week, those opportunities that we have. I mean, in my growth portfolio alone, I think that I've made at least a 15, maybe 18% jump in value just during these past few days of trading. I mean, over 4 days of trading. It's been phenomenal. It's not really the sort of growth that I like to see. I would much rather see a slow, steady growth, but we do have a lesson in here. So on that tumble down, there were a lot of people, you have that world's coming to an end sort of feeling. My account is never going to recover from this. Remember that they're not really losses until you sell. And there's also some things that we can do. We can manage our downside risk by setting stop values. We can either have hard stops at the lowest price that we'd be willing to sell that stock, and so that would keep us from holding the bag or really losing out, so that'd be good risk management. And then another thing that we can do is we can set trailing stops, so that way you can let that stock price go up and up and up, and as soon as it does turn around, it can help save you by selling it should it drop. You can set it by percentages or ticks or dollar amounts, penny amounts, whatever it is that you want to do. You can set those, and so researching those order types is something that if you haven't looked into how to set a stop loss, it could be something that you would want to do in the future, especially with this fast run up that we've had. I just said in my Discord just today, it was this morning, hey, we've had a lot of green in the markets. There's no sense letting those sort of gains go, and rather than just flat out selling where we're at, especially because there are some stocks that haven't really reached that maturity, especially my growth portfolio is a years-long portfolio that is meant for long-term growth, even though there's been a lot of short-term growth, which I'm happy about. These down moments that we have, they're not ultimately scary to me in the short term because, again, about higher conviction stocks, the ones that I feel are going to do well over time, over years worth. So if I talk about time horizons, 2 years to maybe 5 years of time in that window, and even for some of the companies later, but I reassess as time goes on and make sure that I'm still as committed to those companies as I am right now. those are the ones that I'd hang on to, regardless of how much it went up or down, as long as the news about the company doesn't change. These short-term windfalls that we have, where where it just plummets, and we have these crashes or corrections depending on what part of the market you're looking at. Those are the times you want to catch those things at the bottom. So let me jump over to my screen share. So the stock that we're looking at right now is 3D Systems, ticker symbol DDD, and I wanted to bring this one up because this one it eludes me all the time. When I was looking at this one originally, it was at about $20-some a share. It went up to $30 a share before I had a chance to get into it, and I was like, you know what, it's too rich for my blood right now. I can't justify getting into this stock at the moment. And then it ran up past that 30. I was waiting for it to come back down into the 20s. Instead, it ran up to almost $60 a share, topping out at $56.50. And that was before all the big sell-offs and everything like that. And I was like, I can't do this right now. That is way too high. If I wasn't willing to get in above 30 or at 30, I'm certainly not willing to get in now. The stock tumbled back down, and I didn't have my attention on it. I wasn't watching it. I didn't put it on my watch list, although I should have, because I love 3D Systems. And you know, it did drop back down to the 20s. Well, where's it at today? When I take a look at it, it closes at $29.92, and I think in the after hours on this one that it has gone back up over $30 a share. And I realize that that's low volume, and there's not always a lot to make out of those after hours tradings that we see. ARK Invest did add to their position for 3D Systems, so that's something that you might want to consider when you look at this. But again, man, I really wanted to catch this under $30. I had my shot at it and I missed it. I'm not going to spend my time dwelling on it, because as long as I keep on looking at what I could have had, then I will never have those opportunities, because I'm not going to see the other opportunities. So I just got to let this go. I got to look for more opportunities. I know it's capable of that $56 price tag, so that's something that could change my mind about buying this. But it was under $30 again, and catching anywhere in that mid to low 20s would have been phenomenal, and it just didn't. So let me make this a slightly happier story here. This is another one I haven't really talked about on this channel. This is Butterfly Network, and they are a medical device company that they're basically shrinking the size of the ultrasound to something that could be plugged into a smartphone, and using AI technologies that wouldn't come from the smartphone itself, but the smartphone would communicate with the towers, which would communicate with the servers, which run the AI on their enterprise grade software that they have through Butterfly Networks, and then we could use that, or that could be used in order to do different diagnoses through ultrasound. So basically taking the big expensive ultrasound machine and shrinking it, and also drastically shrinking the cost to make it something that could really be used worldwide and reach a large part of the world that wouldn't otherwise have access to such technology. So I really like the device that they have. This is another one that ARK Invest likes, and I've always been into tech, and innovation is also something that my eyes are always looking forward to those different things. Now, 3D Systems, I mentioned that I always miss that one. This is one that I happen to catch this one right around the $17 per share mark. And as tough as it is to time the market to catch the buy opportunities at the bottom and the sell opportunities at the top, this one I managed to catch pretty close to the bottom of where it went on. I believe it was even on this day, on the 5th. It was somewhere around in there. Maybe even into, maybe it was into 8th. I think it was on Monday actually that I made that purchase, and you know, I felt good about the market. I thought that it was a good time to buy into it. So I nibbled a few shares of that, and so far it's paid off well. And to see that it has ripped up to that $29 price tag, there could be a lot of movement ahead for this company, and especially for a device like that that can revolutionize the non-invasive type medicines that we have and really drive down that cost. That's a sort of product that I think will go very far. And I think it could bring a lot of service and a lot of access to the world. So this is one that I like. I nibbled a few shares of it. I'm going to continue to read about it and find out more about the company. It's paid off very well so far, and I think that it'll continue to pay off. I think that it's capable of these prices, if nothing else, to trade in this range that we see back here before that run up where it got up to about $22 or $23 a share. It might take a while for that to happen. I don't think that we're going to keep making a straight rise. I think that we still have some troubles in the market. We still have to worry about inflation, and maybe bond yields will even still be a thing, although maybe the hype has died down a little bit around those. There's still a lot of macroeconomic conditions that can really affect what goes on here. But in the meantime, I think I'm onto something good, and I think it's worth a look from you too. All right, here's one that I've talked about frequently on this channel. Skills, still one of my favorite stocks that's out there. The short seller report came out, and, well, they're short sellers. They have a short position. They want to see the price go down. So, I mean, honestly, if that's what I wanted to happen, you know, if I thought that that was also going to happen and I had that sort of influence to drive the market down just by the words that I said, I would say bad things. I would try and poke more holes in this and try and give it that sort of slant to make people want to sell off this stock, because that would really, as a short seller, greatly increase my chances of a gain on this. However, I am bullish on this. I am an investor who takes long positions almost exclusively. On very rare occasions, I would take day trades with short positions in order to capitalize on small movements that we have, but I like to find stocks that have good fundamentals going forward, and Skills, I think, is a very early investment for good fundamentals, for a good business model, and NFL being one of the big players that we have. I think other companies of influence, if the NFL has success, I think that we're going to see more success coming out from those as well. And as per the short sellers, ARK Invest, you can think about them as almost a rebuttal in response to the short sellers, because with this depressed stock price, they've just put in another order today for 623,000, I think it is. That's what I have here. Or I'm sorry, 632,000. Sorry, the tiny numbers on the screen and my eyes aren't getting any younger. Over 632,000 shares just today that they purchased. So they see this stock price near the bottom, and ARK Invest said, hey, we're going to take advantage of that. And really, they see only better opportunities for growth with their ETFs because of this sell-off, because it allowed them to continue to purchase and dollar cost average down and bring down some of their averages. So now they see greater growth potential over the 5-year time horizon that they set for their ETFs. All right, last one. I'll close with this one, NNDM. They had their earnings report. They beat Q4 estimates by, I think it was like almost $1 million. I think it was like 0.97 million that they beat consensus. And that apparently was good news. And the earnings miss was not enough to keep this this good dog down. So it just had a really nice day today. You can see from the open on this thing, opened at about $9 a share. Closed at almost $11 a share for the day. And if we take a look at the after hours that we got, you can see in the after hours, kind of traded sideways for a little bit, had a little tiny run up that we have. It looks like 11.05 as of this recording. Going back to the daily chart, this is one that I dollar cost averaged down on. Well, really it was a dollar cost average up. So I was in under $8, and as this thing started dropping, it dropped down under $11. I think I bought more in at about $10.68, and then it kept on dropping after that. So at about $8.88 is where my last ad was that I had for this, and I really considered adding more at around the $7. However, I didn't want to be too overweight. I wanted to go ahead and spread out some of that wealth across other stocks. So I did miss the bottom on this a little bit. However, we're already up to that $11 mark. So I was already below 8. So I'm in the money on that one. And then I was also below $9. So again, still got some gains on top of that. And then a small order that I had, I think possibly even the smallest out of the 3 was the one that was just under $11. So every one of those orders is still coming in under that. So that means I have gains on every one of those investments that I've made into NNDM. It is a long-term hold, but if we see that sort of price action again, I'll probably add in some more shares just as we go. But again, it depends, because the more I add, I don't want to keep on adding the weight on top of that. But we did have a decent couple of days here, and today was a great day. It was the sort of day that we needed to bring some of that strength back. So I don't think that we'll see that bottom again like we saw, but we did have that run up. NNDM is a stock that I like to keep my eye on. We have had a history of capital raises, and I hope that that history is something that's left in the past before too long, because there has been a lot of share dilution. making that money, trying to build up as much as they can for the acquisitions that they're planning on doing, getting into their pre-production and production phases that happen within the next few years. So if you're invested and you're a long-term hold like I am, then we can enjoy the ride up, and I think that we're going to have a decent ride up as the years go on for this company, especially if they make it into that production phase. I think the sky's the limit on that one. If you haven't yet invested, well, it's still pretty low compared to what it was. You can give it throw the idea around a little bit, really research it, give yourself that time, see if it's a company that you're interested in. I did a deep dive on this a while back, and maybe in a few more weeks, if we have a little bit more news, I'll throw us another one in for one of those updates. In the meantime, still one of my favorite companies. So let me summarize. 3D Systems, they still have a fair amount of room to the upside from where they are now to where they were. Hopefully it's a slower ride than what it was. I know some people like to have those rampant run-ups and they take advantage of those. For me, I would like that slow, steady growth that brings low risk along with it. Butterfly Network is one that I really like, and I really think that we could have a really strong business model coming out of that with their product, especially with that broad adoption, driving down the cost of medical equipment and medical treatment and that diagnoses. Those are areas that I think there's a lot of room for innovation and improvement, and I really think that Butterfly Networks is onto something good with their ultrasound technology. So read about it, check it out. I'm going to continue to educate myself on it. Skills, it's hanging down a recent minimum right now. ARK Invest still leaning into it. I'm still bullish on it. It's also one that if you haven't read up on it yet, read up on it, do your research on it, see what you think. If you are invested, I think that we have a good amount of room to run on this one, especially as they develop and grow as a company. I think that as long as they can keep on innovating and as long as they can keep on bringing in new games and new interest, especially with companies like the NFL, ones that have a huge following, I think that we'll be in really good shape. I think we'll be really in good shape with that company. And then finally, NNDM, definitely a growth play, definitely still near the bottom here. Lots of room for opportunity, so it wouldn't necessarily be something that has run away from you or that you missed out on. It was something that I recommend that if you haven't read about it, that you do read about it and see what you think on it, and it's at least worth a look, even if you don't end up investing in it. So thank you everyone for watching. If you're interested in my Patreon, if you would like to sign up, see what's going on over there, that link is down in the description. Also down in the description is that link for Webull if you need that trading platform. Sign up, deposit your $100, get your 2 free stocks. Thanks ahead of time for your support. If you haven't subscribed yet and you'd like to, please do so. Hit the notification bell, hit the like button, share it with your friends. Remember, these videos are for entertainment purposes only. Always do your own research and due diligence. Contact a financial advisor before making any financial decisions. I'm Dr. Stock. Thanks for rocking with me. Now go make that money.